All right. Yeah, Tracy, you didn't miss anything. We were just playing the slideshow and letting people get in. Welcome, everyone. All right, just give me one quick second. This happens every time. Then I have to find the browser that was playing the music and stop it. There we go. How is everyone doing? Welcome, welcome. Okay. Welcome to our October advisor meeting. Is that what we're going to call this? We have a couple pieces on the agenda. We're going to talk about both middle school and high school, kind of looking at the numbers. We may split off into a middle school and high school breakout. For those of you who haven't been on a call with us yet, we are recording, and we do record all of the calls to then post on Wild Apricot. If you have a question or a problem with that, let us know. When it's students in the call, we usually drop an opt-out link. I can drop it in there too, so that anyone who doesn't want their image or voice used in any public recordings can fill that form out. But the recordings are available on Wild Apricot to registered participants. We're probably all pretty familiar with Zoom, but we will be using, we're going to try to use the breakout features in Zoom today. So if you are in your Zoom client versus like a browser, that will make a difference. But we're gonna use you guys as guinea pigs on a couple pieces that we're looking at using for the new breakout features. I don't know how much you guys use Zoom, but there's some new breakout features that we want to test and see if they work today. So we're going to do that. And then I usually point out the participant tab and the chat window. If you have any technical questions, you can use the chat window. Mary and Adam and I can help you. That's the short version of the housekeeping. There's a longer version when we have students in the room, but you guys are all over 18, so I don't have to go through all of the different pieces. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Mary. Mary, can you launch a poll as a co-host, or do I have to launch it?
I think I can launch it.
Okay.
Cool. All right, guys. Hi, I'm Mary. I think I've met most of you at some point. So we're gonna launch just a fun like tap in activity, and it's a poll. And so the poll is, what type of Halloween costume do you prefer? This is coming up at the end of the month rather quickly. Do you like a funny costume, a scary costume? Do you like to do it yourself, dramatic, edgy, or you just don't like Halloween or don't celebrate? And if you can't see the poll, or if you want to just unmute and say your answer, go ahead. Okay. Looks like mostly everybody has voted already. So it looks like, share the results with you. It looks like funny. Most of you like funny costumes, couple edgy and homemade and scary. Would anybody like to share a fun Halloween costume that they've had?
Okay, I can share one.
Thanks, Tracy.
And it was homemade, and this was a long time ago, but my husband and I met, we went to a Halloween party, and I loved Pirates of the Caribbean. So he was really smart, and he dressed up as Jack Sparrow, and he made his whole costume, even braided the wig to match Jack Sparrow's. And then I went as Elizabeth, and made my own costume with, random things so that I could look like her. But anyways, it was really fun, and it was a good homemade costume. We have great pictures of us, and I even bought special glasses that we could use for toasting on Halloween night that kind of went with the pirate theme, and it was perfect.
That's fun. I like it. I dressed up one time for Pirates of the Caribbean, like the last movie opening night. That was so much fun. Anybody else have a cool costume that they had fun with?
I haven't, but I'm excited to see some Baby Yodas this year.
Yes. Lydia, will you tell everybody what you're making?
Yeah, so my niece and my daughter are really into Hamilton. I'm sure that shocks everyone that our kids are into it. And the girls want to be the Schuyler sisters. So I am an amateur with the sewing machine. Frankly, I had an old sewing machine. I did one project with it. I broke it and I bought a brand new one. But anyway, so we are making the girls Schuyler sister dresses. The pattern claims it's easy. We shall see. But I have all the pieces cut. Now we just have to pretend we know how to sew. It's going to be interesting, so I'll send you guys photos if it goes well.
Awesome. That's exciting. It'll be fun.
My niece's favorite is Peggy. For those of you who are familiar with Hamilton, which she's basically the third, she's the afterthought, certainly in the, you guys are history teachers, so you probably are more familiar with Peggy than I am, but that's Nora's favorite, so.
Hello, excuse me. Hello, everyone. I'm trying to eat supper, so you probably don't see my face.
Hi, Dr. Holloway.
Hello, Lillian. Hello, Molly. Hello, Tracy. And I thought I saw Mary.
Yep, Mary.
Okay, all right. Hello.
Hi. So that takes us in a good direction. Let's introduce ourselves and kind of where we're from, and yeah, let's just do that. So, Dr. Holloway, you want to start us off?
Okay. Excuse me. Hi, I'm Ruby Holloway. I'm from Bates Academy, Bates delegation. The school is located off of Wyoming, near Pembroke on the east side. And I have been working with Michigan Youth in Government for several years. It's always a lot of fun. And I would like to say I have received support from everyone that's at the staff, anything that I need, and also support from other people that are more seasonal at this than me. So again, I would like to say good evening, and I look forward to working with you guys. And I have 3 students that have already signed up because they emailed it back to me.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks, Dr. Holloway. Who would like to go next?
I can go. I'm Beth Carney from Quincy High School, and this is my 3rd year with being with Quincy High School and advising.
Thanks, Beth. Beth, you want to popcorn to someone?
Sure, how about Heather?
Hi, I'm Heather Sobak. I'm Legg Middle School in Coldwater. This is my, I think, 8th year as the Coldwater co-advisor. Now do I popcorn? Popcorn Victoria.
I'm Victoria Wilson. I'm with the Elk Rapids delegation in Elk Rapids, Michigan. And I work at the high school, and I work primarily with the MJP students, and my co-advisor is John Grigorski. Oh, and I popcorn to Michael.
Sorry, I had to unmute. I'm Mike Geyer, Union City Middle School delegation. I've done absolutely nothing yet. I'm still trying to survive the beginning of the year. Although we have more than a few kids interested. One of them in the background here, just getting home from volleyball practice. So I know I'll have at least one signed up. But this is, I don't know, 15, 18 years, something like that. I think it's 18 years. So Lori Bowers and I will get stuff going and get it figured out very rapidly so that we can make sure we don't lose our program. And I'm going to go to Joe because I know he's on there. He was. Yep.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you. Hi, I'm Joe Macaluso, Elk Rapids, Cherryland Middle School. I believe it's year 16. It's somewhere in there, somewhere in the, maybe just short of what Mike's been doing. Yeah, just trying to figure this all out. Got about 5-6 kids signed up for middle school, a little short of our normal 50 plus, but we're working on it and excited to see how this year goes. And I will go to, let's see, looks like Chelsea Rice.
Hello, I'm from the Legg Middle School delegation, and this is my 2nd year doing youth in government. So, I honestly don't know who already went. So if there's someone else, I popcorn you if you haven't gone yet.
All right, I'll jump in. I'm Kevin with the Onstead delegation. This will be my 3rd year, and I'm going to jump back onto mute because I've got a baby that's crying. So.
All right. Would anybody like to jump in next?
I'll do it.
Oh, sorry.
Please go right ahead if anybody else volunteered.
I'm Molly Worden. I teach at Petoskey Middle School, but I advise both the middle and high school program. Going since early September when we first started school. So we have a good set of kids for both the middle and high school level. And I popcorn to Tracy.
Thank you. I am Tracy Deering, and I am co-advisor with Molly for Petoskey Delegation. I think this is my 7th year, I think. And I do middle school and high school with Molly. Sorry, I couldn't popcorn. I can't see everybody. I'm on my phone. Sorry.
Fine. Would anybody like to go next?
I'll do it.
Thanks.
All right. So my name is Rule Cook. I'm with the Union City High School delegation, and I am advising with Richard Maples, but he's not here currently, so I'm filling in for him. I've been doing youth and government ever since high school. This is my first time getting to be an advisor. I graduated 2014 from Bronson. But I'm pretty excited to be doing it this year. So pretty cool.
All right. Josh or Fran, would you like to go?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm Josh McDonald. I'm a teacher at Harbor Springs High School, and it's my 2nd year with the program. Last year I was just co-advisor assisting with the program. This year I am the main and only advisor so far. So yeah, that's my story. So I guess I'll send it to Fran.
I'm Fran Breger. I'm a volunteer. And I don't remember how long I've been an advisor. I used to be an advisor but I've been around a long time.
Yes, we are so thankful for you, Fran. And for all of you, thank you so much for being here tonight, and we're excited to have you. I'm gonna turn it over, I think, to Adam next, or Lydia, are you next?
Adam, do you have enough time to finish it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So sorry, guys. I'm actually on my way to play in my Thursday night kickball league. So, but thank you guys for all being on the call right now. Just a couple of things for high school that I want to touch base with everyone before I get off the call. We sent out a high school schedule and a middle school schedule, and we realized that it freaked a lot of you out as advisors of thinking you guys had to participate in all those events. That was just a recommendation. We knew you guys had a lot on your plate. So we were like, here's some options for you guys to, if your students want to log in or anything like that, these are what these options are. But the one big thing that is coming up on the 16th of October, so next Friday, is our fall conference. We're going to hold one fall conference day. We'll have 3 different calls for each of the districts. But we'll be sending those links out in Wild Africa. So that's where you'll be able to get those on. We just had a call today for all candidates that had signed up already. We'll be recording all of their speeches on Zoom and putting together a video to be shown at fall conference. So if you have any high school students that want to run for elected position, please have them reach out to me, or you reach out to me, so I can get in contact with them to schedule a time for them to record their speech. And then for the plan for the spring, as you guys all know, it's very much up in the air yet. We'll be making a decision late November, early December of what we're going to do come spring, depending on where COVID is and everything like that. But we did successfully run a late conference last year virtually, so having that experience will definitely help us moving forward. But as of right now, we're not 100% sure what it's going to look like. And I can turn it over to Lydia if I miss anything, or to talk middle school.
Yep. So our thought is we're gonna give a quick overview of both. ask, give kind of a space for general questions that have to do with both, whether it's wild apricot or we're going to do, and then we are going to do some breakouts so that we can talk specifics, middle school or high school, if your question has to do with that. So I think Adam covered high school great. Middle school, so what Adam said still applies, right? We put out a calendar of here's a call every Thursday, and then there's these Midwest calls and the L3 calls. And frankly, we didn't know what people were going to log into, but we wanted to be available. And so for middle school, in the same way that for high school, the date you need to show up for is October 16th because that's fall conference. For middle school, there's 2 dates. The November 5th date is of the elections event. So it will look a lot like the high school fall conference looks. We will do the speeches ahead of time. We will divide people out into their program areas so they can vote for their presiding officers. And then the virtual conference for middle school itself will be that weekend of the 20th through the 23rd. Both the Monday and the Friday components will be both live streamed and recorded. So if the time on the schedule works, log in live. If it doesn't, the kids can log in afterward and watch the video. So those will both be webinars. And then as we get a little bit closer, the specific times for committee sessions and debate rounds and chamber sessions, those will be more clear, but they will be scattered a little bit throughout the day. And then what we'll do is we will provide some platforms ahead of time for students to make it clear to their committee chair. So when they're going to be available, or if there's a time that they have a conflict, we're going to make it so that they can communicate with their committee chair and say, please put my bill on the docket in the AM session because I'm not available in the PM session, or whatever it is. So because we know that different people are in different places, both from like a school standpoint and just on a weekend versus a weekday, and we didn't, the what time you need to log in will vary, but we'll be clear ahead of time. And then we'll be kind of communicated as needed to the right people, so it's less confusing. If we tried to put a whole schedule of like, here are all the times of all the meetings, it would be totally overwhelming. So we'll try to focus in on, here's the contemporary issues schedule, here's the legislative schedule, those kind of things. And so, the calls that we have scheduled on the Thursdays, up until November 5th, those are still available, but always optional, whether you want to send one delegate or all your delegates or just your advisor, or you just want to watch the video later, or you've got it. You don't need any help having your kids write bills. You're totally fine. You can just keep doing what you're doing. So in an effort to try to be everything to everyone, for some people, we didn't provide anything. We overwhelmed you. So we're sorry about that, but we do hope it was helpful for some folks. And then the only other deadline I need to make sure we touch base on for middle school is the October 29th bill submission deadline. So that's when bills will be due. That will also be the candidate session, like we did today for the candidates to give their speeches. So candidates and bills need to be ready by October 29th. So those are the programmatic overviews. We think we'll spend most of this on Q&A. And like I said, what we're thinking is Q&A for general questions, registration, wild apricot, what do you mean Zoom, like any of those questions, and then we can break up into high school and middle school and dig in on specific issues. Does that work for folks? Okay. So specific questions right now on high school, middle school.
You can raise your hand or throw it up in the chat box or whatever you would like.
I have one, Lydia.
Go for it, Joe.
Okay. Just because I've been sending, I have students sign up on a Google form with me just so I know they want to do it and I can work with them on bill writing. But then I send them to wild apricot. And
it's the national debate. Is it apricot? Is it apricot? We don't know.
So when they do that register, I see some of my students have registered. My intention was they just pay on their own. Is that how it works?
They can. Yep.
Yeah.
And what improvement, unlike Rego, if they didn't do it when they first did it, they can still log in and do it.
So they can have registered but not paid. That's a possibility.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Will
if
guys
you,
handle that?
yep. So when you say that all right, so have you viewed your roster on our website?
Yeah, I saw 3 or
Okay.
4 names the other
So
day.
if you scroll over to column question mark, I'm trying to find it. There's a column that says paid or unpaid.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Yep. And and we can use that to, if you got some kids that need to pay or some kids that don't need to pay, we can pick a time at which to update that, and we can send you an invoice directly from Wild Apricot. If your school needs an invoice for a bulk payment, that's also possible. So all payment options at this point, all payment options are possible. And it has come up previously. Is there going to be a scholarship application? The way we've, you guys may not have seen it because the advisor login and the advisor participation is free. But on the student participation page, we've actually given them for the middle school program, we've given them 2 payment options. The $50 is the scholarship fee. That is, we're not going to do like full scholarship applications. We're just $50 is available to anyone. The true cost of all of this is about $100, but and they can pay that if they would like. Their parents are feeling very generous. That's great. But otherwise, the $50 is available for all of them to pay. And the high school just says 30 and is only 30 for the fall program. So Joe was talking about being able to access his roster. Just show of hands, that seems familiar to everyone. Everyone feels comfortable with that.
I have a question going along with that, Lydia. So I had some kids who told me that they felt like they signed up, but I think they just signed up for the site and then they didn't. Like, is there any way we can tell like how far they've gotten in signing up?
If they can get to the links, but you can't see them, it means they've only done 1 step. You won't be able to see them until they've completed step number 2. Yep. So if they can get to the meetings or they can see the links and they can see the site, that means that they have created a membership. And if we've had a couple people do this, if you just type wildapricot.com and go there, you can create an account, but that's not actually an account with our system. You have to, so what I recommend is go to myig.org and click the register button, because that will take you to the right spot. And so then you create a membership level is free. They pick their level, student, middle school, high school, all that. And then they still have to register for the event. We do apologize for the 2-step process, but what it will allow us to do is next year, they only have to do the 2nd step. And Mary just dropped the video in the chat.
Yeah, if your kids are having trouble and they're not sure how to do it, just send them this video and they can watch it and they'll probably get it pretty quickly.
Are kids able to go in and change information on their registration? So our kids got emails for the first time, and instead of putting North Min, they're putting North Man, so they're not getting the links or anything sent to their emails. Can they go in themselves and change that, or is that something we need to send a request through you guys?
I will check right now. You should, in edit profile, they should be able to edit their email address. So when they go in, when you get to Wild Apricot, let me show, I can do a screen share. When you get to myig.wildapricot.org, in the top right of the screen, they should see their name. And when they click their name, they can click then edit profile, and that should be where they change their email address.
Thank you.
You may not even be able to see that. Sometimes you should go slower. I should always go slower, but when screen sharing, and I did not, sorry.
Lydia, I had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
When we had our last meeting and I was introducing them to the Wild Apricot site, when students were creating accounts, for some reason, we're finding like half of our kids, when they tried to create, like they already had an account with Wild Apricot, but is that possible to do even if they didn't create one yet?
So the likely, I'm going to double check before I give, one of the possibilities is that we had about 36 high school kids fill out the Google form before we were ready to launch.
Okay.
And so we created them a membership or an event registration. I can't, Adam did it, so I don't totally know which one, but so it is possible that they're getting like a, wait, I already have something. It's also, so it could have been that, and it also could have been, I don't know which kids it was, or if we had any of your kids at the, so that's probably what it was. It was probably students who registered on the Google form.
Okay. And also to the deadline, October 12th for the registration, is that end at a certain time? Because I still have we have a meeting tomorrow before school, and we still have about like 10 kids that haven't registered yet.
If someone's a candidate and they're not in by 5 on the 12th, they're not going to get to run.
Okay, yeah, I don't think we have any.
Yeah, anyone else, we will run a last minute update probably on the 15th. Don't tell the kids that.
Yeah, I won't.
But yeah, so if you've got one more kid that shows up on, the next day on the 13th that says, I want in, let them register. We'll do a voter registration update, because that's what they have to be registered for us to then open to send them the link to vote.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yeah.
All right, and I did this wrong because yesterday I told a girl she could not register because she was not putting the money in. So I will go back and correct that. First, I was going to go and let them use my card, and I said, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. So I will correct, and even she questioned me today about it. And I said, when you register, you have to pay the $50. So I will change that. I will change that tomorrow. Okay, and the next thing is October the 12th is registration, just full registration must be done.
October the 12th is the high school deadline.
Okay, so we're not talking about middle school yet.
Yeah, not on deadlines. Correct. The registration deadline for middle school is not October 12th.
Okay, all right, no, okay. I usually give them a little week earlier anyway, just to keep them going. So whatever week you give me, I'm going to, Mira is bowing because you know I do that. I'm going to give them a week early anyway. That's my deadline.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That is excellent advice, Dr. Holloway, to give them a deadline a little bit ahead of the actual
Yes. Yeah, that's what I do.
I will say that probably the same is probably going to apply for, the same concept's going to apply for middle school. So the 29th, if they're not in by the 29th, they definitely cannot run. We can probably give a little of October. We can probably give a little bit of leeway after the 29th for stragglers, especially if they're in political compromise, because that won't matter as much, because on then the 5th, we're going to have them before the 5th to be able to assign them to the right election piece. So aim for October 29th, Dr. Holloway. Cool. Any other broad questions? All right. So what I'd like to do is a quick, you guys are our guinea pigs here. So based on, all right. So I don't know how many of you guys have used Zoom, but if I open these breakout rooms, so Josh and Victoria, it gives you guys options. Does anyone else see anything? Okay. If I hit recreate, recover to, but if I do this, can anybody see room options?
All it says for me is please wait to be assigned.
Okay. We're testing our ability to do this. Recreate all rooms. I'm gonna call one high school. Mary, we didn't plan this. Do you want to do high school or middle school?
Whichever, middle school,
Okay.
I guess.
All right.
Although I have been on the high school calls mostly lately. We could do that.
Does that do anything? Okay. All right. So I'm going to quickly assign you Molly and Tracy. Who wants to go to high school?
I can.
Okay. And Kevin, your high school. Fran, which one do you want? You want to come to middle school since it's
Doesn't
sooner?
matter.
Okay. All right. So I'm prepared now to break us into high school and middle school so we can dig in on those specific questions. Mary, I'm sending you to high school. We'll do that now. Now that should send you to rooms, yeah?
Okay, most of us have appeared. Not all of us. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Probably Rule kicked himself out. All right. So here's a little poll about the activities that you may be thinking of. See what you guys. Oh, there's Rule. Oh, there's Beth.
Glad I made it to this one. Oof.
Can you see, Rule, can you see the poll?
I can now. Yep.
Okay. Cool. I think that's, oh, there's a couple more of us. Give it a second. Hi, Beth. All right, so kind of the idea with the poll is to ask you guys if there's any activities that you would be interested in perhaps engaging in, not committing to anything, of course, where we could maybe support you. I see a lot of cohort gatherings and a couple of people saying like local government events. That's awesome. Can anybody not see the poll? Okay, cool. Cool. Well, I'll go ahead and end it there so you can kind of see the results. So it looks like a lot of you have said like local gatherings, which I think is that makes a lot of sense with everything going on. And then look maybe like local government events. Oh, there's a chat. Ooh. Oh, that's fine, Beth. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right. Maybe a rally on the Capitol lawn. That's just something we're looking at. Have you guys ever like locally engaged in any of these things, like on your own without YIG? Like a local government event or an event with your like local legislators? Well,
We haven't done it as a youth and government organization, but our government teachers are good about doing that. So it's, cool. But we have not done it as a youth and government organization. But a cool thing that we are doing this year is they wanted to do some fundraising because normally we do concession stands in the spring and we weren't able to do that last spring. So we're selling face masks for the presidential election. So some of them say Trump, some say Biden, some just say vote. And then we bought pencils and stickers. And so when the kids vote, we're asking for a donation and they can get a piece of candy, a pencil, and a sticker for their donation. So just, that's cool. I think the mask thing will be kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that. There's a huge movement right now for getting students registered to vote or just getting them engaged in voting. That's a cool idea. Or even doing like we used to do a school vote where kids would themselves vote, and even though they can't officially yet, and then we'd have a winner of the school. Are you guys doing that too, Beth? That's cool. I like the face mask idea. Have any of you guys done like a community service project either at your school or with your kids?
We do a lot of volunteering at like, well, not this year, but elementary, like when they have their carnivals, we send some youth and government kids to help out with those. They wear their youth and government t-shirts. And so we've sent kids to work at things and activities to represent and help out, but we haven't done like a big community service project that we have like put together and run.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't do anything as like a whole group, but we have a couple kids that we sent that volunteer just like participate, like big brother, big sisters kind of stuff, and but not as a whole delegation, I guess.
Yeah, even those little projects or individual projects are helpful, I'm sure, in your community. It's interesting when you do like put together a project, the kids get really close because they have to work out all the kinks with, that come with making a project and putting it on. It's pretty fun to watch. we did a program this year at called Change Makers through the National Youth in Government. And I don't know if any of your kids at your schools were part of it. I think we had schools from all over the state, plus all over the country, kids from all over the country. They designed a community service project. I thought maybe it'd be cool to do something like that with youth in government, like statewide. They have to design a project and kind of come up with a plan for it. It was a fun little program. Oh, is middle school joining us? Oh, no. No. All right. Has anybody done anything with like their local government or local legislators?
We did in I teach civics, and we during certain units, like we have our local judge come in. We've also had like city council representatives come in and things like that.
That's cool. Cool. Well, I was just wondering, curious what you guys were thinking. Before you got kicked off, Beth, you were gonna ask a question. Sorry, get back to that. What were you wanting to ask? Oh, you're muted. Hold on.
I said, that's just mean. I don't remember.
It was something like, okay, like between now and.
Yes, got you. I was just gonna say between now and the 16th, it's just what our kids really need to do is just make sure that they're registered and pay that money, and then we figure out as a delegation how we're going to be together from 8:30 until 11 on that date.
Yep. And make sure to communicate that they need to create a membership and register. I think when you say it differently like that, then they understand they have to do two things.
Yeah, I thought the directions that Lydia or somebody sent out, I just copied and pasted those into a document that I shared with them. I thought it was pretty step by step. So yeah, you did a nice job of making it clear for me. If I could figure it out, they should be able to.
Yes, those children are very tech savvy for sure. Yeah, I would say that's the main thing between now and fall conference to prep for. And if you have any candidates, maybe just checking in with them, seeing how they're feeling about everything, if they have questions. And if they have questions that you guys are like, I don't know, they just send them our way, Adam's way, really. And we can help them out. But yeah, I think those are the big things between now and then. We do have a couple other, our two other fun events this month are toward the end of the month, on the 27th, we have a login, listen, and learn. And that's kind of a neat event because kids come on and talk about social justice. And we'll have a guest usually, or a guest moderator. It's kind of neat. And then the Midwest rally is a lot of fun. I don't know the date yet for October, but they get to meet kids from like all over the Midwest. There's kids from Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, Kansas. So that one's a lot of fun. So yeah, depending on what interests your kids have, maybe you can kind of like, hey, you might like this. If you're really into social justice, check this out.
Mary, unfortunately, I got to leave the meeting here. Is there anything that I should need to know for in general? I don't know, in general, I guess.
No, I think that's it. We are going to have a November advisor meeting just to check in with everybody and see how you guys are doing. That is going to be November 12th at the same time. So just to give you a heads up. And if you are in contact with any other advisors, spread the word, let them know that we will be meeting again soon. But yeah, thanks for being here, Josh.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. It was very informative.
Have a good night.
Okay, you guys were out here. I can close the breakout rooms.
Yep. Bye, Beth. She might have already left. I was just letting them know about the next meeting and a couple.
Oh, I totally didn't tell them about the next meeting.
Oh, well. All right. Well, it sounds like the middle school group is gone, so I will let the rest of you go. If you have any other questions, hang out. But thank you for being here. Bye, Victoria.
Bye. Have a good night.